I just tried for like 10 minutes to put in my nose ring, so I've decided that it didn't want to work. Sometimes when stuff isn't working, just drop it. Oh wait, that might defeat the whole point of this video. I'm gonna be doing something that I should have done a long time ago, but because it wasn't working, I didn't try to do it. Hey guys, welcome back, and special shout out to all my late 20s, early 30-something-year-olds that are behind in life, because I get it. I get it. Also, I got a new haircut, and I kind of went a little crazy after the fact, and I wanted my bangs a little shorter, so I may have messed them up temporarily, but just ignore it. Maybe it's giving Van Halen. Who knows? Anyway, no, I'm actually not that old. I wasn't alive for the 80s. I promise, Gen Zers, I wasn't alive for the 80s. So recently I got this comment that says, I just found your channel because I'm old and can't drive at 27. It makes me feel like crap. Have you learned to drive? How did that go? My anxiety is horrendous, and I've been trying to drive since 18, and it's not working. So what I think this person was referencing was the video I made now 5 years ago called Why I Can't Drive at 25. How embarrassing to sit here and say, I still can't drive at 30.
She could not drive at 25, so contrived.
She could not drive at 30. Her brain did her dirty. I think for a while I was sort of on this kick of make moves in silence, and I still live by that. I feel like it was Tyra Banks that said this, and I kind of love that, where it's like if you want to make big changes in your life, you don't have to throw it out to the world, you don't have to have people knowing about it, you can just silently do things for yourself, right? Just for you. But I think for me, I think I work better when I'm being held accountable. For example, when I really want to get something done, I tell my therapist that I want to do it, and so she'll be like, I'm going to ask you next week. By making this video, the internet is now holding me accountable to get my driver's license. And you know what another thing is about the making moves in silence thing? I think I really wanted to do that because whenever a family member would bring up to me the topic of getting my driver's license, I would feel myself start to shut down and become very embarrassed. You know, it's embarrassing. Let me just say it. But I think I'm more so embarrassed when people point it out as something that I should be ashamed of. Are you still a 30-year-old baby? Let me know. It's just the putting you on the spot. Your day-to-day, you might not really be that insecure about it, but when somebody mentions it, it puts a spotlight back on it. But back when I made that video about not being able to drive at 25, I felt very alone in that because everyone in my life around me can drive. When you have cousins 10 years younger than you that are driving, nice. Seeing people younger than you surpass you, it's But going on the internet, I found so many TikToks of women around my age, late 20s, early 30s, I can't drive. And it felt so affirming. Hot girls can't drive. In your day-to-day, you can feel very alone in certain things, especially with milestones. There really is no one size fits all for everybody when it comes to how to do life. You're always going to be chasing something. There's always going to be something that you feel like you need to obtain or you should have obtained by now. I don't think that feeling ever goes away. Y'all, I'm 30 and I don't have a lot of things. Children, career, we'll unpack it a different day. But today, let's get my learner's permit. Why did I decide I wanted to drive? I think I've reached the point where I just want to feel like I have the option to. I feel a little restricted and trapped. I don't really go a lot of places. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've had to ask for a ride in the last 5 years. I got a lot of comments on that video about how not driving is selfish and it's like relying on other people. But for me, my whole life has sort of centered around the inconvenience of I can't drive. If I want to do something, I have to make sure everybody else is on board to go. I mean, hey, I even book my dentist appointments alongside my mother so we can go at the same time. I hate inconveniencing people. I just want to have that option of independence. My husband Brandon and I were having this conversation about, you know, like him getting in a car accident. I'm like, well, would you call me before you call 911? And he was like, I would have to call 911 first because you would have no way of getting to me. And that That was hard. I'm like, oh no, I'm useless. No, but but you know, there's just things that when they come up, you're like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Though it is nice not being asked to pick anyone up from the airport. That's for sure a pro. A lot of what has held me back is that I remember discussing in that video all of my instances with driving and messing up, getting behind the wheel and panicking and hitting drive when I should have hit reverse and all these sorts of things. Literally blanking and confusing which pedal is which. The big one's the brake, right? So I thought it would be fun for this video to document the process of me getting my learner's permit, to hold myself accountable. I find things easier sometimes when it feels like I'm making content about it, and I don't know what that is. There's just something in my brain where it's like, hey, if this is content, I can do it now. To start things off here, I thought I would take my permit test with you guys. I think this will be the third time I've gotten my learner's permit in my life. There was a time that I failed my permit test a few years ago, and the woman that I spoke to after my test, she was really helpful, and she said there's actually an app you can download where you can practice the test itself. So we're going to do that today. We're going to see how fresh my knowledge is. It's been 3 years since I last had my permit. Wow. Where did those few years go? I thought maybe it was like a year ago. Anyway, I'm kind of nervous. I'm gonna eat one of these Smarty lollipops because it'll make me smart for the test. And also, my blood sugar's been a little wacky today. Okay. Pennsylvania driver's license practice test. I'm scared. Don't laugh at me, guys, okay? Let's see how I do. This sign means... Oh my gosh. I struggle with left and right, but that is a right turn, so no right turn. This sign is used to warn drivers about... Help. Okay, this is the lane ends. Okay. She said with the utmost confidence, you may turn left at a red light if... I feel like they're asking me this to see if I'll break the law. I'm gonna say it's turning from a one-way street onto another, because you can't turn left at a red light ever. To my UK viewers, we drive on the wrong side of the road. Crashes in work zones are most commonly the result of probably carelessness and speeding. The road edge on the right side is marked by a blank line. Broken white, broken yellow, solid white, solid yellow. Uses 3% of brain power to imagine the road. I'm gonna say solid white. When you see this black and yellow sign, it means it's slow down because the road ahead changes direction at an extreme angle. Okay. The law gives blank the right of way at intersections. This is a trick question. I've been studying lately, and I thought it was the person going straight. But the answer is no one. No one has an advantage here, girly. Oh, this is where I'm gonna mess up. Drivers turning left must yield to drivers going straight through an intersection. Yes. Let's hope that's correct. After a train has passed, you should blow horn and blow horn? Hello? What? Yeah, a train just went by. Yeah, proceed with caution. Yeah, I have like a traumatic memory of being in the car with my uncle as a small child, and there was a train coming, and he just drove through the bars that were down, and yeah, it traumatized me because I still remember it. I thought I was about to die. You should honk your horn when you are passing a bicyclist. Yeah, I probably see a child who's about to run into a street. Like, get out of here, kid. Use your four-way flashers. If you are arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol and you refuse to take a blood test, you will receive a driver's license suspension. Oh, my results. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, did I get everything right? Oh my gosh, get out of here. 18 out of 18. I can't believe it. All right, so I was talking to my therapist about getting my permit and how I was nervous about taking the test. I've never been a good test taker. Even in school, when I was super confident about the subject matter, when it came to test taking, I would just choke. And so my therapist reminded me, even if I fail my permit test coming up, it's not because I don't know the answers, it's because of my anxiety. I know the answers, I just need to work on the confidence in myself a bit, perhaps, and I need to try to relax. I feel like when SpongeBob needed Patrick to put the radio in his head, when SpongeBob said, I know all the answers until I get behind the wheel.
I know all the answers until I get behind the wheel. I just need something to help me think straight. Thinking straight is what I do.
I feel that. I logically know the rules of the road, how to drive. I know how a car works. Well, not like a mechanic. Lift up that hood, let me look. I know how to drive. I do. There's just a panic button in my brain that gets set off. And I think a lot of people can maybe relate to this, of people sort of infantilizing you for not having a license. But for me, it's just this lack of confidence in myself. But I've really been trying to work on that. Just because I'm doing something doesn't mean I'm gonna do it horribly. Also, something that really inspired me to want to get my license at 30 was I saw that Lady Gaga didn't get her license until she was 30.
My father cried when I got my driver's license.
I love that.
I was like, Dad, I'm 30. He was like, I'm so proud of you.
Do you think you're a good driver?
I think so. I'm all right.
You know what? Maybe this was the sign I needed. Maybe this was the push I needed. Because sometimes you can feel so behind in doing stuff that you don't even want to bother doing it. But here's Lady freaking Gaga, who was hella famous before she even got her driver's license. That inspired me a lot. But the important thing to remember is to do it for yourself. Do it because you want to do it. You watching this, whatever you're struggling with, it's in there. You have the power to do it. You just have to try. I'm nervous about getting my permit. I'm nervous about taking my road test. I've never even taken the road test before. And that's something that I really want to push myself to do this year. I don't want to be the person that holds me back anymore. Because I think before it was like, oh, I have traumatizing experiences from driving, and I get scared and my mind blanks. I would go to all these things of, oh, this is why I can't do this, but I never gave myself reasons of why I can do it. I've studied, I've prepared, I've practiced driving. Not recently, but I always sort of felt caught up in my incompetence rather than I can drive because I've had bad experiences and I've learned from them, rather than just, oh, I'm scared, I'm not doing it. Because that's been my go-to with everything in my life. The second something scares me, I retreat. I'm a turtle, I go into my shell, I'm scared, I'm not doing it. But I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to face the things that scare me head on. Feeling a little uncomfortable temporarily is worth it, because you don't really achieve things by staying in your comfort zone. So I'm actually going tomorrow to take my permit test. Wish me luck. We're on our way to the DMV for hopefully the last time I ever have to take this freaking permit test.
Yeehaw.
You know when you go to the DMV and you feel like you never have all the paperwork that you need? That's how I feel right now. I don't have my Declaration of Independence. Sorry, bro. I guess I'll come back later.
Okay.
Oh, wish me luck. I'm so scared. Oh no, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Ah!
It's fine.
I know. Next time you see me, we'll know how this went. Stay tuned.
It's okay.
Okay, so it is now exactly a week later. I went to go get my permit. I was very nervous. So we get to the DMV. We're sitting in the parking lot and I start to have an anxiety attack. It was like 5 minutes to 3 o'clock and Brandon was like, okay, we'll sit here until 3. Just gather yourself, right? I was watching the front of the DMV and I could see teenagers out front taking their driver's test. I don't know why this affected me like it did, but I just started crying and my mind just started racing with all these thoughts of like, here I am, this old 30-year-old woman, and here's these teenagers half my age taking a driver's test. I just started getting these overwhelming thoughts of like, what is wrong with me? And then I start to cry. I'm already feeling the anxiety. I'm trying to calm myself down, but I start crying. Brandon turns to me and he says, we'll come back. We can come back next Saturday. It's okay. Through my tears, I was like, I just don't want to disappoint you. I don't want you to be upset with me. And he's like, I won't, but your nerves are shot right now and you're not going to be able to pass your test with your nerves like this. I live by this mantra of like, do it sad, do it sick, do it scared. But sometimes when you're under pressure, you can't do things to the best of your ability. So he gave me that out. He said, we can come back. And it's weird. I kind of had a flashback to my first day of high school. It was such a large school. It had 3,000 students in it. I had flashbacks to sitting there on my first day at this new high school and just shutting down, anxiety, overload, nerve shot, can't do it. And I remember my mom being so frustrated with me. I understand, moments like that, it's frustrating. By Brandon giving me that space to just breathe and giving me an out in that moment, I was able to calm myself down. Because then I started to imagine us leaving, going home, me feeling disappointed in myself. Like, why didn't I just do it? That feeling was more upsetting to me than the thought of just going in and doing it. I was nervous because there were teenagers out taking their driver's test. I was nervous at the thought of talking to people inside of the DMV. I was nervous to take the test. Like, it was just a lot. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. Here, I didn't even have to take the permit test. Guess who got her permit? Guess who got her permit? Oh my gosh, my hair.
One step closer.
I didn't even have to take the test because I was renewing it. I literally just had to pay $6. Here it is.
There it is. Easy.
I can breathe. It was so scary too because I went into like a back room and it was just a guy at a desk and it was so quiet. I can breathe.
Good. You're good.
I can breathe.
What do you want to do?
I did it. I want to go to TJ Maxx. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay. I got it. Yay. All of that worry, all of that stressing, and I didn't even have to do it. So I feel relieved. Just the other day, I went driving for the first time in 3 years.
So it's recording.
I'm scared to start.
It's recording.
Wait, how close? I feel like I'm
feels
too
comfortable.
low.
Well, go
See,
up.
this is why I need a truck, because I feel like I'm too low.
Go up. Sit up.
Is this the drive this long weird?
Yep.
I'm literally going to scream.
You're fine.
I was fine up until we got to a cul-de-sac where there were little kids, 2-year-olds riding on bikes, and I felt like I was gonna pass out. Mom is looking at me and can sense my imposter syndrome. She knows I don't know what I'm doing, and she's like, this maniac is gonna run over my kids.
Why are you so snotty?
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna cry. I feel scared.
You just got a little nervous. That's okay.
I was like dissociating the whole time. I felt like zoned out.
Yeah, your adrenaline was going.
I was like,
you're okay. It's just your adrenaline was going a little bit.
but you know what? I still did it. And you don't always have to be a big, brave dog with the utmost confidence to do something. With each time I get behind the wheel, I think I'm just gonna feel better and better and better about it. A little dissociated, but better. I have been working on building up my confidence and telling myself that I can do it, but also letting myself know that it's okay to try to do something when you don't feel super confident about it. And while working on driving at 30 years old in and of itself is a little embarrassing, at least to me, I'm just trying to be proud of myself. I'm trying to focus more on the being proud than I am on the being embarrassed. And I think that's what I want the takeaway of this video to be, is that you don't have to be embarrassed.
Anyways.
How did I do?
You did good. You did good.
What was my strengths and weaknesses?
Weakness is you won't hit the gas. Strengths, everything. You're good. You're fine. We'll get you driving more.
I'm so nervous. I'm like still shaking.
She's fine.
I was like crying.
You're fine. Good job, honey. Good job.
Thank you guys for joining me for this very vulnerable video. I want you guys to leave down in the comments below anything recently that you feel proud of yourself for doing, because for me, this is a huge step. Don't forget to like up the video. I will see you guys again real soon. Until then, panda hugs. I love you guys. Bye. I still got the permit, girl. To be continued when I take my driver's test.